Thank you, everyone, for again be with us tonight, and we have a new guest tonight.
That's Bradlee Brixx.
Thank
How's
you.
it going?
Thank you
Thanks for the invite.
to stay with us. Thank you so much.
So as usual, first question, really easy. It's just when and where you started your kind of career. So start tattooing.
Yeah. So I'm from Vallejo, California, which is like an hour north of San Francisco. I kind of was born and raised there and was like heavily into graffiti as a young teen and skateboarding, stuff like that. I would go to my local tattoo shop in Vallejo called Pop's Tattoo, and I started getting tattooed at like 15, like in garage, stuff like that. Luckily they weren't too bad, I got away with like having a decent tattoo as a scratcher tat, I guess, quote unquote. But yeah, I mean, I would grow up, I kind of only knew about like local shops, at that time there wasn't really like there was no Instagram, I didn't really go on the internet too much, so it was kind of just like my resources that were local. But yeah, I started getting tattooed at the shop called Pops, and I built a great relationship with everybody at that shop, and they kind of like offered me an apprenticeship. I never went out like sodding out for one, looking for it. They kind of knew of me around town as like through my graffiti and seeing that stuff like on the streets and whatnot. And they were just always like, dude, you're going to get in trouble one day doing that. Would you ever want a tattoo? And I was like, I never thought about it before, but I was totally interested in it,
Yeah.
By this time I already had like the sleeve from everybody there. And, so yeah, it was a great opportunity. I was 23, I think, when I started my apprenticeship. But yeah, it was great. It was like 2 years of just, working a construction job and then going to the shop after work and scrubbing tubes, doing, all the apprentice stuff. So yeah, it was like 7 days a week, on the weekends I'd be at the shop all day, 12 hours at least. And then weekdays, full-time construction job, go there after work, and yeah, I just do it all. It was great though. It was like never super taxing to me, I felt, because I was just like so excited about it. So it was great, and the shop I worked at was like kind of a street shop style, lots of walk-ins, kind of in a rougher neighborhood, so it was a lot of like neighborhood clientele, and doing a lot of like script and names and like, great little walk-in tats. So it was awesome to start off that way, to kind of get the feel of things.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's an amazing way to start.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
so much.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. I started from graffiti too, and skateboarding and stuff like that. So for me, it's my same situation, but in another place.
Yeah.
And in Italy, because I'm from Italy, so for us was a little bit more difficult, because our kind of culture it was a little bit more, how can I say?
Yeah, I mean, against.
Yeah,
really
against.
A lot. We really didn't have the time. Any kind of tattoo culture, so it was really.
Yeah. So I started working. I did my apprenticeship in a shop. That was the first one in my place. It was 94, so not like 70 or something like this.
Right.
So in 94 was the first tattoo shop.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and can you? We would like to listen from you. What is your style, and what is your? If you want to describe a little bit your passion for traditional tattoos, and what you like most. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I go about it with like a traditional application, I guess you would say, like semi-bold outline, saturated color and shading. I kind of like to focus on doing like kind of more of a unique subject matter approach at times though. Like I really love doing mashups. I love, incorporating not only a panther, but a panther with like a girl head or, like at least 3 different, things. I love doing that. It just helps open the doors of like having the tattoo be more like one of a kind that way, I feel,
Yeah.
There's so many amazing tattooers like around nowadays to where it's like you could go get an awesome panther from anybody, and it's like if you want to stand out or like kind of have a signature on your work, I feel like having a more unique approach like that kind of helps like stand out,
Sure. I can see that your style is really, really powerful. I really love it. So the first time that I just had seen your works, I was like, so, and I would like to ask also if you started with the traditional style, or if it is something that for your evolution that you are doing this.
Yeah, I mean it definitely like it was definitely the style that appealed to me the most. Like even in the beginning when I first walked into a tattoo shop. Yeah. I went straight for the flash on the wall, and I saw Higgs and like, even just classic Sailor Jerry, because that's the shop I went to. They had that on the wall, and I was like, wow, I really love this stuff. At the time, I like didn't understand like color palettes and stuff like that. So I was graffiti background. I really loved like the greens and the purples and like the bright colors, and I guess over time as an artist, your taste like changes and evolves more into different things. So it's like the tattoos I have now on my arm, I probably wouldn't get now. That's all I'm saying. So like, but yeah, that's just part of the game, I think, and learning and your path, So, yeah. But yeah, traditional was I always knew that's like how I wanted to tattoo. It took me a long time to really like figure out like the method, because my mentor, he was like an old biker. So he never really knew like how to approach that kind of style either. And he was more of like a shop owner, like he was better at like tuning machines and like operating a shop than like the artistic side of things. So I kind of with the artistic stuff, I had to just kind of figure it out on my own a lot,
Yeah.
I was just bad at like figuring out like, hey, I could go and like search the internet, or like, I don't know, I wasn't a tech savvy kind of guy, so I didn't really go look on blogs and things like that. I would a little bit. I mean, back then I think like when I started, like Swallows and Daggers was like a popular website. I would check out stuff like that, but I would still heavily looking at magazines. Yeah, I kind of hate the computer, so I wasn't on it a lot. Yeah, this was like before iPhones too, so it was like just the accessibility was way different. Yeah, my mentor, he would like make us order needles from like National or Cam, kind of like real old school style stuff, distributors. And I would like know that, okay, I have to tattoo with like, to get a bold line, I got to use like a 9 or like an 11. Yeah. And I would order 9s and 11s, and they would be like super tight, and I'm like, why isn't it out the way I want? So yeah, starting off was kind of funny.
Yeah, and also, so every time that I can, I really like to draw and paint something that I can put on the wall so people can choose something. Yeah. And it's not something that people still doing it, because a lot of customers just come to the shop and say, I want this. And what about your relation with this? So you do it, so you still paint flashes and wait for people just to ask for them, or you just do what they ask?
I'm fortunate now to where like I'd say probably 70% of my clientele, you know, is all like, they come in, they're like, yeah, do you have Flash available? What do you want to do? You know, they kind of give the power to me to like create something for them. So I'm very thankful for that, which, you know, it makes everything so much more fun. And like, I feel like I have more freedom, you know, to kind of create the best I can do for them. You know, sometimes when stuff's a little too, you know, all of us, we've gone through it, I'm sure. It's like when you feel like very dictated, you're kind of stuck in like you're pigeonholed into like a tight box, you know, at times. So, but yeah, and painting Flash, I feel is like such a strong, like it's so important, you know, it's the essence of tattooing, I feel, in a lot of ways, you know, and having Flash available it's very important. Even like when you're, you know, you're going through like a slump and you're kind of have a creative block, I think if you just like do some repaint of something, it kind of helps just get the juices flowing. And like, you know, it's like a menu for people, you know, it's like, you know, you give them something to look at and, you know, stuff grows from that kind of.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And also talking about this, it's how do you see the tattoo scene in your place? I mean, also compared to other places or compared to other times, maybe in the past, or how do you relate with this, and how do you see it?
Yeah, you know, California, Northern California especially, it's just so many good tattooers. You know, I worked in San Francisco for like 8 years, and that's like a mecca, you know, on the West Coast. I feel like tattooing, so much style has grown from there, and so many greats, you know, blazed the trail that came from San Francisco. So it was really awesome to work there. It's competitive though, you know, there's so many great shops within a small, you know, radius. So yeah, there's times where I'm like, man, it's hard working alongside all these great people.
Yeah.
You know, that are a few miles away. I'm like, why are you coming to me for that? Go to this guy. But it's awesome, man. Like the community out here is so great, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. You know, I opened up a shop with my partner Sean 2 years ago, like right coming out of COVID, here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And yeah, the support is just, it's insane. It's really awesome. And there's so many great tattooers just in Sacramento alone, you know? And I feel like even in the traditional realm of tattooing, like Sacramento definitely has like a regional style and like a staple kind of, like you could tell that's a Sacramento tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, and that it's really cool, like how that's evolved too.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that is one of the best scene for me, for sure, because I really love traditional tattoos, and I can see a lot of people from California that do stuff really amazing.
Yeah.
So
real.
Yeah, and you cannot describe.
No.
So everything is different,
No,
and
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
And also your relationship with the coil machines.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I started. I use rotaries too, you know.
Yeah.
I recently got a pen also. I feel like, you know, tools are tools, and whatever can get your job done more efficiently.
Yeah.
You know, why not try it out? And I'm not one to like, I've done it in the past where I've like had integrity so strong where I'm like, I'm stuck in my way and I kind of don't want to like open up to new things, but then I feel like it's hindering at times, you know, and you could get left behind on stuff. So it's like, yeah, I may use a pen, but I'm also using coils the same day also too. I'm not just set on one thing. Coil machines are just so fun. They're like, they're a piece of artwork in itself, you know?
Yeah.
Getting a machine from a good builder and like just collecting them, it's, you know, that's also a huge part of, you know, tattooing. Like just having an awesome collection of them.
Sure.
You know, and I love it. The first machines I ever got was Mickey Sharp's.
Why not?
Yeah, the microdial, and then I had like the Paul Rogers frame, which they were like so like zippy and real like slow. It's a great machine to start off with, I think, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I personally haven't had like the time or like place to kind of build, like set up a place to where I can even try to like maybe one day build my own machines or something like that. I feel like in the future I would really love to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe when I own my own home and I have a garage and stuff like that, I think that would be awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really cool. Also because you can, it's amazing. We are machine builders too, and I remember, so at the beginning I started buying a lot of machines, and when I started building machines, for me, I understood a lot of things more that I was thinking that I already knew. So, but after I just everything changed, and
yes. You can play around and find exactly what you like and what you want.
Right.
Exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing.
And also about this, since so everything changed, as we said, also about the scene and tattoos themselves. And what do you think about the social media? Because everyone has different opinions. Also for me, because I can say that it's something good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
It depends also the way that you use it. So what do you think about it?
And what is your relationship right now with this kind of new methodologies of working?
Yeah. You know, it is a double-edged sword, and I think like too much of anything could be a bad thing. You know, it's all about how you use it the most efficiently, and you know, we're grateful to have it. But at times it's like, it's definitely changed the game a lot in ways that not everybody's super happy with. You know, there's young kids that have a huge Instagram following, and then they learn how to tattoo. They think they learn how to tattoo off YouTube, you know, and then all of a sudden, just because they have 44K, they're booked out 2 years straight. Art is such a biased thing too, and where it's gone, it's like, you don't even need to pull like a super clean line anymore, and people just will rant and rave about the tattoo. You know, it's almost that saying like shitty is pretty.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I don't know. I try not to be like to get pissed off, or, you know, there's nothing really you can do about it. It's just, it's here to stay. And if you know, I think in the end, the people that are really about it are going to stick around, and the people that aren't, they'll fizzle out, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, social media definitely, you know, the algorithm, stuff like that. You hear people upset about, oh, the algorithm is preventing me from, you know, getting a lot of views on this reel I did. And it's like, yeah, but Instagram is also a free platform. Like, you're not paying for it. They can do whatever they fucking want to their app, you know? And if you don't like it, find other ways of advertisement. You know, word of mouth is still the best, I feel. You know, people in my city, they see tattoos in person and they're like, wow, where did you get that? You know, and then so I think word of mouth is really important still. I do miss the days of having people just walking into your tattoo shop though, and like flipping through a photo book of tattoos you did, stuff like that. I feel like the photo book portfolio, that's kind of like a primitive thing now. Even though I still have my photo portfolio on the table in the waiting, you know, in the lobby of my shop. I still think it's important and just something cool. I think I'm hoping, you know, like the technology side of stuff will kind of die down, and like more magazines and like analog type things will make a comeback soon, you know?
Yeah, totally. In this moment of your life, and in general, what is the meaning of tattooing?
Also, if there's the same magic
that
when you started doing it, or
does it change, or did it change some way, or how do you feel?
Yeah, it's definitely changed, and it's, you know, it's like, it's you just keep growing. Everything just keeps snowballing. It gets bigger and bigger. You get more opportunities. You meet more people. You get relationships. It's just a great path of life, you know. And I don't necessarily think there's a wrong or right way to do it, you know. And it's the opportunities that fall into your lap at times. It is magical, you know. Or like, you know, you're slow for a week and then all of a sudden someone hits you up to do a back piece and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, it's definitely a up and down thing, and you just gotta, like, I feel, just be open to it and just ride the waves and let it all work. It always works out, I feel, you know. Yeah, like, I feel like it's kind of slowing down as far as the number of tattoos I do, like, within a week time. But that's okay because there's so many other, like, things I could do to keep myself busy, as far as, like, paint flash, you know, do new t-shirt designs for, like, merch, you know, getting creative in that way too. I would like to really hopefully soon put out a book too. That's like another kind of future goal I'd love to do.
Nice.
Yeah, just you could always be drawing and always be creating, and I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, right.
Yes, totally.
Do you have some plans for the future? Like, you usually guest spots or conventions? Yeah,
I try to do at least like 3 conventions a year, and I've been doing a little bit of traveling here and there. It's kind of hard right now for me. I have a 2-year-old daughter, so she kind of keeps me at home a lot and at bay. You know, I'm not as wild as I used to be, and so a lot of energy goes into her. Luckily, my wife Brooklyn is so amazing, and she sells vintage, and her vintage store is actually half of our tattoo shop. So it's kind of a split business thing.
Okay.
It's a vintage store, tattoo shop in one, which is awesome because my 2-year-old's normally running around the shop when people are getting tattooed. So
nice.
I'm really stoked to have her, like, grow up in a tattoo shop and just be a part of that. And, you know, I have clients that have been getting tattooed with me for a while that just, you know, that are in the shop and get to see her grow up. It's fucking cute, dude. Like, having her run around and people are, like, squinting and in pain, and then all of a sudden she comes around and it, like, brightens up their day, you know? As far as future plans, though, I would love to travel more. I haven't got to tattoo overseas yet, you know? So I've tattooed in Canada. My wife's from Canada, so I've gone up there a few times. But yeah, I would love to go over to, like, you know, Italy or Germany, you know, do some conventions out there. And it's definitely the future. That'll be a future goal for sure. It's just go overseas more and come meet you guys in person, you know, hang out, stuff like that.
Yes, that would be great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And I mean, we wish that you could really travel a lot, and for sure we really look forward to meet you really in person next time. And say that, I really would like to thank you so much for being here and participate in our project. And thanks a lot for your questions. We really enjoyed staying with you. And if you can, please stay on the Zoom link, so we can say bye to the guys.
In a proper way.
And we can say bye to you as well after. So
okay.
Thanks very much.
much.
And
it was a great time. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.